Old Donald Trump's after our waifus. I have been trying desperately to stay out of any sort of political discussion. I really don't like getting into politics, so whenever something happens in the United States, I typically keep it out of my content. Even when they had the tariffs going on and everybody was afraid that it was going to start applying tariffs onto imported goods from Japan, I was holding my hands. I was keeping backing out of it. I mean, I was still getting my figurines. They weren't getting applied to it. Nothing was really affecting that. But obviously the tariffs are causing a lot of people a lot of uncertainty, but here, this recent post that's made by Trump, I don't know that I can continue to keep completely out of the political sphere. And that is really the idea that if what he's currently talking about in this Truth Social post, if it does in fact apply to not just anime films, but anime in general, yes, it could technically affect anime quite a bit. Like I've stated several times before, the anime industry is no longer just Japan. The anime industry is now over 50% of its market, how much it is making, is overseas. And yes, a massive chunk of that is the United States. So if there is some sort of tariff or some sort of fee that's being applied to it as it goes into America, especially Crunchyroll is going to start dialing it back. Ain't no doubt Crunchyroll is going to dial that stuff back. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause the anime industry as a whole to start to collapse. As I've stated several times, I feel like the anime industry is growing way too big. It has way too many shows coming out every single year, every single season, upwards of 60 shows. And a reason because of that is because there's a massive amount of investment going into it, because a massive amount of this stuff is getting licensed, particularly from Crunchyroll, which of course is an American company. But that all said, I do want to say that this post, where how I'm reading it, half of it seems like it's not really applying to anime or anime films, and half of it's too vague. So we're really not going to have an answer about this right now. It's probably going to come into whenever it does get put into details, what exactly he's talking about here, or he could just be blowing steam. We're talking about somebody that is like a theater person. He likes to show off. He could just be flexing here, trying to get somebody else to make a move before he does. We'll see. But the post says, the movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the United States are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. So this first part I want to key in on specifically is this part right here. This is why I don't think this post is about anime. This is why I don't think this applies to anime films. It's not going to apply to animation specifically or Japan in general. It could apply to Japan, but we're talking about live action here. What he is talking about here is incentives to draw filmmakers to other studios elsewhere. They're wanting to bring our physical filmmakers and directors and actors to specific countries to film there. I'm not a big movie buff, but I know damn well that a lot of countries have tax breaks and incentives and whatnot that they will draw filmmakers to their lands to film in their lands. They want to have Lord of the Rings film in their country. They want these films to come in here and film in their countries. That's why they give the incentives. There's not that stuff in America. So that's what he's talking about here. They're drawing away our filmmakers. They're incentivizing them to come to us. He's not saying Japan is incentivizing animators to animate in studios in Japan. So again, I don't think this is talking about anime. But it's the second half that gets me worried. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representatives to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. This part is the worrying part, of course. If it is as blanketed as this, it's everything. It's literally everything. 100% tariff on any and all movies coming in that are produced in foreign lands. That's the worrying part. And so, yes, it does have a lot of people worrying. A lot of posts are being made talking about, yes, this could be a huge impact on the anime industry, specifically the films. And there's the other worrying wording there is this just films that go into theaters, or is this going to be movies as in anything video that's going to be going over the internet? It sounds like this is specifically theater movies. So this would be affecting things like Demon Slayer and whatnot. Any sort of film that you're going to get. This post on Anime Corner writes, Donald Trump says that he's authorizing U.S. Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representatives to begin the process of imposing tariffs on movies produced in foreign country, in a bid that would directly affect anime films shown in the U.S. in a post on the social media platform. No, it does technically with that second half say that it applies to any foreign film produced foreign brought into America. But the first half doesn't. That's the problem. There's a difference. Like, the first half doesn't apply with the second half. That's the big troubling thing about this. So we already read this whole thing here. American imposing tariffs means that U.S. businesses and individuals pay additional fees to imported goods and services from overseas. Yeah. The assumption here, and I think they get into it later on, is that if this were to apply to things like licensing, like Demon Slayer with the new film coming out, the assumption the tariff would apply to the point in which the company licenses the film and then brings it in. So Crunchyroll would license the film for the United States, and a tariff would be applied to it at that point. 100% tariff probably on top of whatever they're doing. And then once it's brought in, then yes, Crunchyroll would then split that up into, partials for everybody to have to pay for it when you actually go to see the film. That would be what would kind of apply there. And yes, I could see that probably impacting the sales of the actual tickets, and that being a huge impact on the anime industry. Do I think it would kill anime overall? No. Just because Demon Slayer, the film, doesn't do well is not going to kill anime. It's going to be a long-term impact on the industry as a whole if this does apply to all imported films for anime for the next 5 years or something like that. But this isn't going to kill anime. I'm sure you're going to probably see for the next few weeks, you're going to probably see a lot of thumbnails saying Trump just killed anime. It's not that big, but it will have an impact. My concern more goes in the idea of this will apply to, say, regular shows. Anything that is filmed that is brought in, including, yes, like a TV series. Would it apply to a TV anime series that is being licensed and distributed on Crunchyroll? Because then, yes, you're going to see Crunchyroll sub go up. You're going to see all these subs go up. But again, this looks like this is specifically theatrical. I don't see them applying tariffs and costs to every single video that is ever going to be bought by any other company. It's much more smaller in scale and easier to manage if it's just films. By making it more expensive to import overseas goods, the aim of the U.S. business is produced domestically. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't see them applying this to Japanese animation films. I think this is strictly physical live action films, like filming in foreign locations rather than filming domestically. I don't think this is about like animation or something, because the whole thing here is that typically with this stuff, the idea here, the assumption here, that at least I understand it, is that this is a bargaining thing. He's using tariffs to bargain. He's trying to get them to kind of bend on something else. And the idea here is he doesn't like the idea that all this business is taking the filmmakers and they're going elsewhere to film and they're coming back here because we're not making money off that stuff. They're going over there, they're enjoying the tax breaks, they're not having to pay for different things, and they come back and they sell the film here. And then they take more money. So this doesn't necessarily apply to the idea of, again, Crunchyroll going to a company that's existing in Japan and saying, give me that film you made. It's not Crunchyroll going, hey guys, let's uproot out of here, go over to Japan, make the anime, and then come back over here and sell it. It's buying something that's already there. But again, the second half is where it gets messy. The 100% tariff on all foreign produced films. This naturally also hits foreign businesses that previously benefited from overseas income and thus can act as a pressure tactic to force foreign governments and businesses to concede. And that's where you're talking about the tariff thing. Okay, yeah. And that's the question mark. Is this a part of a bigger game? What is he actually doing? We won't know for a while now. Again, until this, if it does, gets put into actual effect and they say this is our plan, we won't know. Because this isn't happening overnight. This isn't happening overnight, and we won't know what exactly the effect here is, or again, if anything's going to happen, or if it's just to see if somebody else bluffs. Now, there is one massive thing to take a note, which could alleviate a lot of people's fears about this possibly applying to anime. And that is, I think, Manga Alerts here posted about it. And that is the fact that they have this digital agreement that was put in effect in 2020. There's an agreement which was in effect in 2020 called the U.S.-Japan Digital Trade Agreement, in which movies, music, and software can be traded between two countries digitally without any tariff. From how I understand it, movie distribution, I believe, is digital, so it should be fine. I don't know. That's like saying as long as you make sure that you transport the film digitally back to the United States, you don't have to pay a tariff. So thus every single filmmaker is going to go, well, we got to put it on digital anyways, eventually. It's like, I don't know, that's like some weird loophole there, but it technically does make sense. This is the article here. This is literally where they say that yes, custom duties and whatnot, they're clear on. Digital product means computer program, text, video, image, sound recording, or other product digitally encoded, produced in commercial sale or distribution, and that can be transmitted electronically. Which, yes, for all of these films and whatnot, anime, technically, yeah, they're all transporting that way. It's all being done that way. Now, is that going to be some loophole? I don't know. But it does technically put it in that realm of this is something that's already pre-established. Does he have to form to it? Who knows? He can give it the middle finger. Who knows? Nothing's really set in stone anymore. I'll just say that. Nothing's really set in stone anymore. But anyways, I just want to get on here, give my thoughts on this, and let you guys know that yes, it seems like it could apply to Japanese anime films. How he's talking in the initial post, it seems like he's talking about live action films specifically, because again, filmmakers are going to other countries, getting initiatives and benefits, filming elsewhere. I don't know that he's necessarily targeting what could be Japanese anime or films, but because of how it says literally all films, it seems like it's going to be pretty much a blanket thing. We'll see. But for now, I guess hope that the digital agreement thing kind of holds out, that there is this agreement between Japan and the United States that they're not going to tariff digital goods. And yes, pretty much all anime now is digitally transferred. None of this stuff is like on a physical film. We haven't really been having anime on physical film in a long time, but we'll see. We'll see. I just want to get on here and give my thoughts on it. Hope you guys enjoy my video. Please keep it civil down there in the comments. I doubt it will. Doubt it will. But y'all take care.